Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to use the universal hardware here to actually mount to the fascia of the side of a building. You can also use it to mount to the side of a telephone pole or anything that you can't fit the actual up to 3-inch pipe mount around. So simply how to do that is remove the back side of the pipe mount, set it off to the side, and now you have a base here with 3 holes in it that you can run screws in or lags through. But to work with it easier, it's easier to separate this from the ball joint here and the universal mount. So simply just remove the hardware, set it off to the side, and what you have left is just the mount itself. So what we're going to do, we have the drill ready and a few lags setting out to the side. We're going to simply mount this to the side that we want it facing. So I'm going to put it right here. Simply just run your lag through the open holes. It'll snug right up. So you can go ahead and add more screws. For this purpose, we're just going to show it with 2 lags in it. With that, all you have to do is grab your hardware again. You want your ball joint sitting there. So simply let the unit hang. Take the hardware, spin it around, put it back over the ball joint. Put your nut back on it and just hand tighten it. Once you have it secure, the node will swing freely using the ball joint. And simply take it and orientate it to however you want it, depending on what direction you need it facing. Now you have to remember you do lose some of the articulation with the joint there, so with it being flush up against there. So in this case, your option is to have it sitting straight out away from the building. You can take this mount and spin it 90 degrees, and that will allow you to use the articulation to get it a little bit closer and face it up. But in this case, we want it directly out away from the house, away from the building. So once you have it about where you want it, go ahead and grab your 1/2-inch wrenches again. Support the node. Put it on and go ahead and tighten it down. Get it snug about where you want it. You can make some final adjustments before you secure it all the way. So now I have the elevation and the windage set the way I want it. So now I can go ahead and secure it all the way down. Be sure again not to over tighten these bolts because they will break. So once it's secure and there's no more movement in it, you're ready to go ahead and hook up, in this case, a Cat 5 cable run to it. So what you'll need is your weather tight connector here. Notice I've already pre-run the Cat 5 connector here. So again, you always want a drip loop, so I left a little slack for a drip loop. I'm going to take the connector that's pre-terminated with the Cat 5 on it. I'm going to simply run it straight through the center of it. Once you have it in there, you can take the Cat 5 connector in, plug it directly in, make sure that it clicks and you feel there's a secure connection there. Once you have that in there, go ahead and take your connector. While holding the Cat 5 cable, you want to push it in as you tighten up the connector to make sure it doesn't pull it out. Push it in, secure your first bolt part of it. That secures the connector to the node, and the second part squeezes the weather seal in. So go ahead and tighten it up, again holding the Cat 5 cable all the way in there. Once you have that secure, Cat 5 cable is now weather tight, so no rainwater to get in. The last thing you might want to do is secure your Cat 5 cable. Simply in this case, what we're going to do is add a few zip ties to it. So you'll take some, and you can use the mount as a guide for your Cat 5 cable. Secure a few to it. And we'll add one more down at the bottom to ensure that we keep our drip loop in there. Keep it facing down. There you go. And then with some dikes you can cut away the excess zip ties. And that is how you mount it to the face of a building or to a telephone pole, not utilizing the back end of the bracket.